we'll call the meeting to order for the Williamstown August 12th, 2024 Select Board meeting. First item on the agenda is to set the agenda. We have to add to the approval of warrants, SD 112. Is there anybody else about?
Okay. Tomorrow's primary, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. at the Williamstown Middle High School Library.
So we want to make a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
I will make the motion to approve the agenda as amended.
I just want to make sure, did you remove Berrytown and Fastwood?
Yeah, she just told me.
Okay, that's okay.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Okay, next item is view of open public comments. There's a laminated paper in the back where you sign in. It tells how we conduct a meeting for anybody's interested. If there's any questions, Pat. Any select board announcements?
No.
Nothing. Any public announcements?
I thought that's what you
Took care of
said.
that already?
I jumped the gun, yes.
Horace?
Is this where I ask you a question? I don't see anywhere else that the public gets to speak here. Am I missing something in the agenda?
No.
Okay. My question is, in the last town report, this one, the library was removed from the rest of the town report. And if I look down through the categories, I only see 4 or 5 or maybe 8 that might involve the trustees. The rest of this, because it is a town building and it is a town property, and it is town employees that work there, would be the responsibility of the town. So at the top of the page, it says you allocated $118,708 to the library. And that's the total expenditures. I'm afraid, while I understand that there's a library and there are library trustees who take care of the, I guess I'll call them the tenants, who are the tenants of that town building. There's very little here that tells me what the trustees did, but there's a lot that tells me what I would consider the responsibilities of the town. And since this building has its own separate line section in the town business, and the town hall has a separate reporting over and above what's for the offices that are in there. My preference that I would rather see, which would be much more informative to me, would be the town is responsible for A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Report on it. What the trustees are responsible for, report on it as the trustees, if you want to separate the two. And so I would request that in this coming year's report, that be done.
I don't know exactly what the reason behind it was. Do you got any light on the situation?
Historically, the library trustees have always maintained the building that they're in. And that went way before I started working here. They've always maintained the building. They've gone with separate articles to the town meeting and requested to have additional money allocated for the maintenance of that building. And it has not changed in the 13 years that I've been here, or how many ever years prior to that.
But to me, it would still be more informative if each reported on their own responsibilities.
So let's like misunderstand you, you'd rather see more specifics in the library accounting.
Really, I'd like to see what the town is responsible for be reported on by the town, and what the library trustees are really responsible for be put it on by them. Because basically, they're tenants in a town building.
Okay, well. Rodney?
So does that mean that if the town, if the library needs work, that the trustees will not have that work done?
If the building needs work, and it's the town's building, I'm not sure.
So how is the town supposed to know if the building needs work?
I'm sure that they can look at it, or the trustees can notify them.
This has been an ongoing problem
Understood.
for, and it depends on what the library wants and how they want it to be run. And I think the trustees need to decide if what they're gonna do, what they want the town to do specifically. Because this business has gone on forever, for the last 10 years, 13 years. And when you guys want something done to the building, all of a sudden it's the town's problem. But when you want to run the rest of the library, it's your problem. I mean, you call them town employees, but you're the trustees are the ones that give the librarian a raise, not the select board. So, which is it that you want?
I would like to
If
see.
they're town employees, then the town should be giving the raises, not the trustees.
Well, I don't think that's a bad idea myself.
Well, you guys need to write out what you want.
No, it's not what I want. I would like to see a little clearer delineation of who's responsible for what.
Well, I know way back before when I was on the board, there was an issue between the library wanting to do pretty much as they want to do, and not going along with town, you know, as far as budgets and stuff like that. And so I agree with Rowdy in the sense that they need to decide which way they want to go. We're kind of in the same situation when the fire department was turned over to the town. That was, last few years, that was getting chaos between over budgets and not budgeted right and stuff like that. So I agree with Rodney's sentiment that they need to either decide that they want to run it or have to let the town do it. But every time, I think the first time the issue come up, I do understand what you're saying, that if it needs to be clearer as to what is going on and not getting line items like the other stuff in town, they should at least be made to present something like that for the town report.
So thank you.
So we'll look into that and let you know further when time gets closer.
Thank you.
Anyone else have anything? Okay, Berrytown EMS and the FAST Squad will not be making a report tonight. Next item is Commissioners, Committees, Trustees, and other board just announcements. I think anything else, we can pretty much take care of that. Okay, next, approval of the warrants. SB 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, and 112. Being that there's only 3 of us, there was a couple in there that was for my work on the brush hill thing, but it's already been signed off by the select board previously, the other last month, so I'm gonna have to vote on this in order to keep it, but that's already been
That's
signed.
fair enough. You've already been signed off from one to
So I'll need a motion to accept the warrants as written, or?
and Tyler taking a look over.
Yeah.
I've looked at it already, so I'm okay with it.
Here, a second?
Yes.
Any discussion?
That may make a motion to approve,
Yeah, we already did that, right?
whatever I did that. All right,
You did, you seconded.
okay.
So there's no discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, and approval, next item is approval of the payroll warrants for 7/14, 7/28, and 8/11.
Yeah,
Can I have a motion on that?
motion made. Make a motion to approve that.
Motion made, seconded. Any discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Next item is town manager's report, Jackie.
Would you do the minutes? 7:8, minutes, 7:8.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we got approval of
Wear
minutes.
my glasses. And we're gonna approve the minutes of last meeting. What date was it?
7:8.
7, July. Can I have a motion for that?
So moved.
You second it?
Second.
Motion made, second, any discussion on the minutes? All in favor?
Aye.
Now we'll go to Jackie.
Okay. Delinquent taxes as of today are at $64,182.52. Delinquent water is at $14,115.20. Delinquent sewers at $20,355.32. Under the water and sewer department, the generator has been installed at Mountain View Pump Station. We're waiting on the fuel delivery, so Brookfield Services can come back and do the testing, and that will complete the 3 generators that were paid for by ARPA, the Mountain View Pump Station, the water tower, and the town office. Under the highway department, the Chelsea Road and Menard Cross Road municipal roads grants of $31,000 and $22,000 have been started with ditching of the Chelsea Road and up to Menard Cross Road. These projects will be completed by September. Falls Ridge Road paving is complete. Shoulder work is to start Wednesday. And the aprons into the driveways will be finished up tomorrow. Weir Road culvert was installed with 2 more to be replaced, 2 more and 1 more to be replaced across Weir Road. There were 2 culverts for driveways that had to be, there's a new one that's got to go in, and there's a new one that's going in for a driveway permit, and there's another one just above that, once they did the ditching to stop the water from going into the people's living room. Finished ditching on Cold Springs Road from Holstrucks to Anderson's property and stone lined the ditch. Back to the Chelsea Road, the ditching has been done, but we've had a hard time getting the stone for lining the ditches. As soon as it's available, we'll get that in and that'll be installed. The July 10th, 2023 event for FEMA, all projects have been submitted and the town has been reimbursed $644,244 to date. We have 4 more projects that are being reviewed. That's the South Hill Major Culvert, Gilbert Hill Major Culvert, Erskine, Felicity, and Young Road projects were merged together, and then Martin Road and various roads were merged together. So those 4 projects are all in their final stages of approval for money to be reimbursed to the town. And then the final thing will be the Cat Z, which is the administrative portion of it. They told us that 2 of the FEMA project managers told us that we did not have to itemize for Cat Z. They would just take 5% of the total amount. Well, the new project manager told us that we have to itemize. So I spent 2.5 days going back and itemizing all of the administrative hours for myself and for Dave. So we're around $42,000. It reimburses 100% for that. So we meet with Tim in 2 weeks And hopefully all of the other projects will be in their final stages, and then we'll be able to submit Cat Z, and the July 10th, 2023 event will be closed out.
Where did we end up total, roughly, million? That's pretty close
About 1.6.
to 1.6.
Yeah.
I knew it was up.
The December 18th, 2023 flood event, 6 sites were damaged, 5 sites have been repaired. Chelsea Road is the final one, and that should be started within the next month or so. The July 10th, 2024 event is still pending federal approval from the declaration. As soon as we receive that, we have 5 sites, of which 3 have been repaired, and we've requested an H&H study on Robar Road and Cold Springs Road, and those are in the process with the state to be done. And then I had requested also for Henry/Beatty Mountain Road, but we actually found the H&H study that was done in September of 2013 when we lost that culvert back then. So we should be able to use that same hydraulic study for that. And I'm hoping once the declaration goes through, I'll be able to submit for funding through FEMA to help pay for that, if all goes well. We just have to wait for the declaration to come through, approval. The EWP USDA projects, which is Meadow Street and Industry Street. Meadow Street dredging has been completed. We're being reimbursed the full 100%. Initially it was 75%, but they were able to bump it up to 100%. I've submitted the reimbursement for Meadow Street. We should have the $24,900. They usually say the turnaround time's about 2 weeks. Tim's down there. He's about 2/3 of the way done with Industry Street, and he figured that that would be done by the end of the week if all goes well. And then I'll be able to submit that, and then those 2. Still waiting on Brook Street. We're not sure. They may be pulling the money back because they base it on the assessment of the buildings that are there versus what the cost would be to repair it. But after we repaired the Brush Hill Bridge, they were able to redirect the way the water comes down so it's not bouncing against your bank.
No, because it's already gone. That's 3 feet from the corner of my garage. I've lost 12 feet behind my garage, it's gone.
I'm
Much more
still
of my garage
waiting
is
on
going in.
them, but there has to be an
It
engineering
is what it
study.
is.
Yeah. So that's where that one stands, but Industry should be done at the end of the week, and Meadow Street is completed. Under the Listers Department, the state of Vermont has issued an order for the townwide reappraisal. The CLA is at 78.95, and the COD in Williamstown is at 20.81%, which is outside the state's acceptable perimeters. I have sent out an RFP requesting for a townwide reappraisal. I've also submitted the letter back to the state stating that we have taken that initial step for the RFP. The assessor lister's office was left in disarray when the former assessor left. Me and Gordy have been working diligently with Barb from the state of Vermont PBR and with Chris from NEMRIC to get the homestead's current use and veterans exemptions entered correctly and fix many errors that May actually found in reviewing files with Chris from NEMRIC. So they're working on that. She's been a godsend as far as that goes. She's been taking multiple trainings, and she's been putting in most of her hours since she started working with getting the lister's office back up to where it should be. The library budget, currently as they are $1,706.34 in the hole as of June 30th. The library flood insurance reimbursement check that was issued for the July of 2023 of $16,827.92 was received on May 17th, 2024. And the library trustees requested that the town issue a check to the Ainsworth Public Library for the same amount. The $11,780 that was paid to install the new furnace and the repairs that needed to be done after the flood came out of the library's reserve for the flood damages, but they requested that $16,827 a check be cut to them for their other checking account. But I do want you to be aware that right now they are $1,706.34 over budget because the unemployment, the workman's comp, and the property insurance on the building, the bills all came in for the end of the year.
So, let me try to get this figured out. We gave them money to fix the furnace.
They took the $11,780.18 for the new furnace and for the repairs from the flood and the lost, everything that was lost in the basement. The total was about $24,000 that they submitted to the insurance company. But because the insurance company had to prorate everything because of the statewide
So it's a difference in
losses.
from what the insurance paid, what the cost was? What you
Yes,
said?
they got $16,827.92, but they requested that check that came in, a check from the town be cut to them for their other checking account that is not under the town treasurer. So I just want it made very clear that right now they're at $1,706.34 in the hole.
So what's the other checking account for?
We don't see that one. The auditor doesn't see that one.
I think we should, my opinion is we do nothing until we find out where the money
No,
comes.
they got that $16,000.
No, I
They
know
got
that. I mean, as far as,
Oh, the other thing.
I
Okay,
mean,
gotcha.
I hard tell not knowing what. I don't know. Anybody here from the library that can answer that?
That's me, myself. We just had a meeting on Friday. There was nothing in the financials that came to us on Friday's meeting that told us we were.
Actually, Jen talked to Sarah on either Thursday afternoon or Friday morning before the meeting.
Okay.
And the unemployment, workman's comp, and passive insurance was not put on the warrant.
She did talk to us about that, to tell you the God's honest truth. There is a warrant that needs to be written. Yep. Right, Dusty?
Yeah, she did.
Okay.
How much is that, Jackie?
$1,706.34. And then if Sarah requests that the balance left over from the income of the grant versus the expenses of the grant, in the past, she's requested that that money be carried over. If that is the case, then you're going to be $6,426.70 in the hole
From what?
as of June 30th.
Fiscal year ends June 30th.
Well, yeah, I know that, but why does it jump up to 6,000 or something?
Because if she wants what hasn't been spent in the income versus the expenses for the grant, which is $4,720.36, if we take that out of the balance, it's going to bring you down to a negative $6,426.70.
We have to check our figures. I'm not sure that's true. If it's grant money, it should come out of the grant.
You haven't spent all the grant money.
We know that, yeah, we know that.
Your income for grants was $19,662.66, and your expenses for grants was $14,942.30 as of June 30th.
So why does that come out as a negative?
If you pull that out to reserve that grant money,
Grant money has to be spent by it'll have to be spent.
well, then you're going to be in the hole, $6,426.70.
Maybe.
So, the warrants we just approved, there wasn't any of that on those.
No.
I guess my
You don't
suggestion
approve
is,
the library warrants, the library trustees do.
that's what trustee.
But you get them.
They don't get them.
The town office gets them.
The treasurer gets them.
Right.
Once you sign them, so she can cut the checks, they do not go before the select board.
They never have.
Right, so you just said that they get them, they don't get
I
them.
meant the town office gets
Yeah.
them, I'm sorry.
So, if you're responsible for your own budget, and you go over your budget, it's up to you to deal with it, town meeting, not us.
We have.
So I don't even know why we're having this discussion, just, I said, I really don't know why we're having this discussion.
Me either.
So,
We're good.
it is what it is. You guys are gonna have to deal with your own budget, that's what you want.
Okay. The pub in Bergamot and Moore are hosting a fall festival on September 8th. They're requesting closing Beckett Street from Route 14 to just beyond Bergamot and Moore's loading dock from 9:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. The event itself is from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m., but that will allow them for setup and cleanup. They will also be using the Hoyt Seaver Ball Field for activities for the fall festival. But you have later on the agenda, there's a liquor license, but that is specifically for that section from 14 for Beckett Street. not for-
Basically extending their liquor license to catering to the street bar. Is that what?
Right, that section of the street, correct.
They've done that several times.
Yeah.
Potentially, if there aren't any grievances that come in for the listers between now and the 17th,
The Friday, yeah.
that Friday, we will need to call a special select board meeting on August 26th, which is a Monday, to set the tax rate. But we'll know more. I left the agendas with Barb because I'm on vacation. She'll post them for me. So they'll be posted because that is the week prior to. But I wanted to make sure that
They
was
have
going
to
to
be
be.
sent out by a certain date to be legal.
Yeah, the tax bills have to be out by the middle of September, so this gives Jen, normally we set the tax rate at the August meeting, and because of the grievance hearings that the additional grievance hearings that the listers have to have, but to extend it for a couple of weeks. And also, William wanted me to let you know that the fire department will be starting a commercial business pre-plan. So the fire department will be visiting businesses in Williamstown in the near future to set up the plan for emergencies.
Back on the subject of the listers, just so people can be thinking about it, this notion of paying minimum wage, voting it in at town meeting just is not working. I mean, it's having a hard time to get, luckily, we've got enough people to do it right now, but it's hard to get people interested in it at minimum wage, and it's a job where you gotta go out, check people's property, and get door slammed in your face, and everything else that goes along with being a lister, we need to think about seriously at next town meeting to upping the pay for these people, and in order to get qualified help, maybe some other departments that we need to look at as well. But I know listers is one we've been having a hard time to keep filled. Sure. Rodney?
Well, I got two different questions now. When you get all the FEMA money back, reimbursements back, is that gonna be enough to pay off the loan or make the town whole, or are we still gonna be?
No, actually, the way the FEMA, the bond bank set it up for FEMA, whenever you get a payment from them, that's, when it reaches $100,000, you have to pay them back. So we've got, I think we only have like $24,000 left to pay off on the bond bank loan. Obviously, we're not getting what we were getting from, in the past from the state for the 17% of the FEMA. So I mean, the town has to eat the other, I hate to say it that way, but the 25%. Right now, we're in good standing, we're okay, so, but the loan will be paid off, and we should be okay.
So we're gonna be on the hook for roughly 25%. You know what that dollar amount is?
It's like
That would be great.
400,000, roughly.
It wasn't budgeted. Of course.
No, it wasn't budgeted, unfortunately. I wished it had been, but yeah.
And another comment is that, you know, Larry's minimum wage, I mean, everybody in this town is being paid crap. You know, highway department, you gotta invest in people. You buy all the equipment you want, but if you don't have people who won't like it, wasting your time.
Start the budget process in another month, so.
I just wanted to put it out there because it's voted on the floor at town meeting, the other stuff we put in the budget, if we, you know, for raises and stuff, for the most part, like the town employees stuff. It's this idea of voting in minimum wage every year at town meeting, it's gotta stop. I mean, it just don't, you just can't get people interested in even thinking about doing it. Luckily, we had a few people step up, William was one of them, but they need to be paid more money, there's no question about it.
Right. Even the town employees.
Okay. We did pretty good increase this year on the town, as far as road crew and stuff goes. And, so, but, yeah, you know, well, it needs to be looked at in order to keep good health, for sure. It's not just the town, it's my business, anybody else's business had to, you know, since COVID, probably doubled our payroll amount. Almost, you know, not quite double, but it's gone up significantly. Or else they move on to somewhere else. That's what you get. So,
I got a question. On that topic, is this new payroll, is the town municipality on the hook for that new payroll tax also that they just
Yes.
implemented?
Yes.
You get any tips, you won't have to worry about paying tax on that. You get any tips, you won't have to worry about paying tax on that. Both sides are giving away with that.
Trust me, the tips that I get.
Yeah. We know what kind of tips you get.
Yeah.
You don't get
We
any
get
tips?
to it.
Yeah,
You don't like paying that?
I get lots of tips, but they're not the kind that.
You put in your pocket.
Is that it for you?
Yep.
Okay. Next item is on new business, is Lotus Lakes requesting some money for class 4 road work. Standard's been the past $1,000. It does have a dollar amount here, but this,
Yeah, that's what they're
looking for.
requesting is 1,000.
So we just did one for the road a couple meetings ago. I can't remember which one it was now. Was it?
Grandview, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, it was good. So it's the same deal, $1,000 to buy gravel.
One for Lotus Lake and then one for Granville too?
No, we already did grant
Yeah,
you.
we
Okay.
could allocate $5,000 a year to that budget to parcel out at $1,000 a time or less.
Right, that's up past the club.
So I guess we have to have a motion on that. You want to go forward with it?
That road would be above the cabins or before they get to the cabin?
What's that?
It's above the cabins.
So she did her spring.
Yep. Yep.
Once the town pay $1,000 for gravel for her personal use, doesn't seem right.
It has a class 4 road and the only use is from the ATV club, but since
They can't go anywhere.
they can't go anywhere, so then why even bother to go down the hill? Because you can't cross the road now that the other trip road has been shut down for what, 2 years now?
Trust me,
Yeah, so,
four-wheelers.
Well, I mean, yeah, but they could go down, but they can't go anywhere once they get to Lotus Lake and drive back up by your house. Whether they do or not, I mean,
That's why Bassett didn't.
I'm sure that, right.
Bassett didn't do any work on that trail after the flooding last year because of that. The trail don't go anywhere. Whereas like they did on Erskine, Young Road, those trails, Bassett did a bunch of work.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
You know?
And just recently, they did some work out by my shop here.
But they didn't do anything up there. It is washed out fairly bad down through there. Not that.
It's been a couple of years since they requested it. Last year.
Yeah, it's been probably 3 years.
Well, yeah, because Bassett put a lot of money and work into it, making it beautiful.
But they weren't the ones who was in favor of shutting off, it was flies.
We had flies going on Trip Road, once that was shut off, you couldn't go anywhere. That landlocked everybody on that other side of 14, they couldn't go anywhere. So,
Well, maybe it'll change in the future, we'll see. Maybe it'll change in the future, we'll see.
no.
Nobody's come in requesting to change it back. So.
Well, the way the ordinance was written, that's a different discussion anyways. We're talking about the hill, no?
Anyway, so I need a motion to either give them $1,000 or not.
I say no.
I don't know, if I say make a motion, that's when we do the discussion, correct?
Motion needs to be made, and if it doesn't get a second, it fails, because we only get 3 people here. I mean, I couldn't second it, just
Right.
thinking of it.
I'm gonna make a motion so we can do a discussion.
Okay, I will second the motion, so that we can go on. So any discussion, tell us why you don't want to do it.
It's a road leading to nowhere, that since the last couple of years, is not open to anybody, and that's basically fixing the road to their well.
Now, does that road still come out on Winchester Hill?
What, that?
Yes,
Does it still comes out up on Winchester Hill?
yes.
Yes,
So it does go somewhere.
well, I mean, it does go somewhere, but it's not used as a class 4 road.
And what does it go up to? I'm sorry, I missed. Is it a camp?
Winchester comes up and comes out onto
South
the
Road,
intersection
right?
of Graham
Yeah.
Road.
But why do they want the class 4 road fixed up? What are they trying to get to?
They're trying to get to, the well for Lotus Lake is up. You go
Okay.
up Winchester Hill, the class 4 section,
Okay.
and it's on the left, off of there. Winchester's class 4 down
Yeah.
to,
I don't know,
just
but
lost their names.
Donahue's is.
Donnie's,
down.
thank you.
So with, probably not with a car, but with a four-wheel drive, you can go from Route 14 to Winchester Hill. So it is passable. Most of
it's
the
not.
class 4,
I don't think
At this
it's
minute, it's not passable. After the last
After
flooding we've
July.
done, it's not.
so with
It
this,
is with a four-wheeler, but not.
so what they're doing, would that help take care of that problem?
And I'm sure it would help it, yeah. But where they're fixing to, from there to Donahue's is approximately 500 yards, and that's the worst section of the road because it goes right up through the ledges and up onto Donahue's, in Donahue's yard.
Just before where it goes to Ainsworth State.
Right, right where the state park turns. So the part that they're fixing is not gonna make it so that a car can get up through there.
And what's in our current class 4 budget or account?
It's $5,000 as of July 1.
I mean, I think probably, I drove down Graham Road just to see, because we had a fire out in the field in Ainsworth last year. The fire trucks couldn't get down, which might be state property, I'm not sure exactly when it becomes state property, but that road has been fixed up a little bit, but even getting down with a 4-wheel drive vehicle, I couldn't make it into the park itself. But my concern would be life safety, and if it's just a well, we have other roads in town that probably could use more. Again, we had a severe medical incident on Grandview Road 2 or 3 weeks ago where a gentleman had to be airlifted. It's more important to spend that money where there's someone living that an ambulance or a fire truck can get up to that. If it's a well, I've never repaired a well, I live in town, so I don't have to worry about that, but I would say they can probably get the equipment they need up to fix their well with a four-wheel drive, either a four-wheel drive vehicle or ATV. That's where my thought is, if, we have a limited budget for class 4.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't do much other than go so far, then you can't go any farther. Roger?
Well, if they took a pile of gravel that washed down there, it could probably be gravel the whole road.
So is it still there?
That's the last time I know.
Yeah. They really don't need gravel. They really don't need gravel, don't you see?
No,
Well, they had a pretty good pile.
their ground level is about 4 feet higher than it was
If it's
before.
like the gravel that washed down by 14 here, that we brought down the down there, it's good stuff. It's nice and clean. All the silt's been washed out of it. So,
Yeah.
yeah, they could use that, I guess. So, we have a motion. We have any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye. All opposed, signify by saying no.
No,
No. Guess you could tell them the reason why they got plenty of gravel that they can use. It probably came from the road to start with. A lot of it anyway. Okay, next item is Beatty Mountain Road culvert issues. I know Phil and
Phil's not here.
Oh, well,
Gordy.
Gordon, yeah, okay. Anyway, the reason we asked you to come in was, every time we have a major storm event, flood event,
Sounds like you got problems already elsewhere. We've been doing okay, I know.
Yeah, but
Battle.
it's okay, but every time it blows out, material washes down the brook, and we just spend a bunch of money. We got permission from state, luckily, to dredge the brook down through here in Meadow Street, and it comes running down the mountain fast, and it
Yeah.
travels, and then when it slows down here in the flats,
Yeah.
that's where it all ends up.
I get gravel from up above, so I haven't bought none. It comes to me, so I put it back.
But the end result ends up in the brook.
I know.
So-
Well, where's he coming from on top of the hill? Where's he coming from?
What's that?
Where's the gravel coming off the hill? It comes to me.
Right.
I dig it out and put it back.
It's gonna run out eventually. Go down. Anyway, we're trying to stop these blowouts,
Yeah.
lack of better words. That's what was happening above when we put the new culverts in up the Flint Road there. We've got them up sized properly, so these
Yeah.
blowouts don't happen. It doesn't sit in dirt, rocks, and everything else down the village way.
But how are you gonna stop the gravel from above? How are you gonna do that? I mean, it's coming through.
We'll have to address that. We could probably address that issue at the same time, but
Yeah.
right now, we need to get proper size culverts in place that aren't gonna blow out every time we have a major storm event. We've got pretty much everything, except for maybe a few, taken care of in town, and that's one of the remaining ones. Now, we're trying to get this through FEMA on this last storm event,
Yeah.
but it hasn't been approved yet in Washington DC, and once that does, we'll know more about it. But we try to get ahead of the curve here and maybe do something before winter if possible.
Yeah.
There's no one else lives on that section of road except for you people above it, and you need it to get in and out.
Yeah. Henry Road's pretty bad.
What's that?
The Henry Road's pretty bad, so yeah. Where the snowmobile trail road,
Yeah,
it's gone now. Pretty deep. That came down too. What we suggest, bigger culvert? Is that what you're thinking?
we'll have to address the whole
Or
situation.
8 foot or something? 8? 5's not one.
What size culvert is it?
We talked it over, we thought about another.
Five, the 5 foot culvert. I want
It's
that.
5 foot?
I think so.
Yeah, it's 5 foot.
So you've been putting in and out a 5 foot culvert every time it has a big run. The one above it is 14 feet wide, 8 foot high, I believe.
14 by 8.
The hydraulic study that you mentioned earlier in 2013 was the culvert way above in place at that time?
We have hydraulic studies for everything on Foot Road. The one above requires 56 cubic feet of opening, and the one below it requires, the one closest to you is 58 square feet of opening. And so you're a little bit farther down, but I don't think it's that much farther down, it's gonna make a difference. But you gotta need at least something, meet that same size as the one's probably what, a couple hundred yards up the stream from you. So what we need to do at this point is work, that's why we called you here, so we can work together with you. We're gonna do as much as we can to push FEMA to do it, but we're gonna need your participation in it as well, as people live up here. If your road washes out, so it's not passable, which it isn't until you fix it every time, you got a good chance of getting this through. So if you can still get through, then it's not such a good chance, but everything I've seen so far is blown right out, so you gotta fix it before anybody can get in and out of there. So, we just want to get you on board with this. If it all works out, as we hope it will, we can get this covered through this last storm event.
So it's 8 by what, how wide?
The one above it's 14 foot wide, 8 foot high. There's several different methods to do it.
Yeah.
We just did one in over West Thompson for Gordon Ricucci there last fall. And that one is 5 foot high and 11 foot wide.
Oh,
All you'd have to do is move the blocks out
yeah.
another foot and you'd have the waterway up. But that's the most economical way to do it.
I dug down to ledge, it's all ledge in there.
Yep. You're either gonna be ledge or 3 feet below the brook bed. Either one or the other.
Yeah.
Nobody by any chance has taken any pictures of that in the last storms when it was washed out, have they?
I had
Oh, I've got, we've got pictures, I've got
The last
pictures
three
of,
events that you mentioned, last year in July, December, and this year as well in July.
Because that was
yeah,
all
and
on
then I have
the
pictures of the July of 2013 when it blew out too. But I do have pictures, because we took pictures of last July and this July. I don't have any from December, but I do have those on record, so.
Yeah, so whatever you got be helpful. The more of a history we can put behind this thing, the better chance it is to get these things through.
I got the first one last year, right? Last year? Yeah, July, last year.
Yeah.
That was bad. I shouldn't want to take it off. I couldn't do a thing. But this time I planned ahead. Took all these years to figure this stuff out. I dug a trench next to the code, saved it, so within a half hour we had it back in.
Well, I just want, we're here to work with you and try to get this
Yeah.
resolved and
That's
hopefully
nice.
work with us. And
Nice.
if it all works out good, it'll be good for everybody concerned. So, Jackie's gonna be on vacation for the next 10 days. But after that, if you could get her any pictures that you have down to her, and so she can put something together for them. And we're still waiting for the state feds to declare this last thing on this year's storm, so.
We
It all works out.
We didn't expect anything, but.
We just, the bottom line is we just can't let it keep doing it, so
No,
we gotta,
I know.
there's no, we're just
I get
wasting,
tired of it.
we're wasting money cleaning these brooks out, it just keeps filling back in.
It's my email address, but these are the, this is the
Body.
studies here that was
Part of
done.
that, class 4,
Yeah,
they're all class 4.
they did. One up, off of, where's that road Lisa lived on?
Maplewood.
Stella Road?
Maplewood.
Yeah,
Oh, from Stellar.
Yeah, Stellar Maplewood, yeah.
They approved the culvert replacement on
I've
that.
been trying to take it.
That was class 4, so they've done it. And they also approved on the Riddle Road, not this last storm, but still before replacing.
Yep.
That wasn't through town, but it was through the private landowner that lives on it.
West Thompson.
It also has something to do with how far off from the class 3 road it actually is, the culvert is, which is why Maplewood up on Stellar Road is close enough to the class 3s. section of Stella Road, that it fell into the Stella Road water, whatever.
At the time.
And that one's gonna be pretty close
Choke
to,
right here on the corner when it comes around, so whatever.
The only thing that's gonna cause a problem with that is where the culvert comes back 40 feet from where originally it was, used to be closer to Flint Road. But,
If that's what they want, we can move it back. They're gonna pay
well,
for
it
it.
makes no sense, it's where it is now is good,
The plan that I've
it's
learned, wherever the road's made its course now, is they want to try to line stuff.
yeah, it's more of a direct line right now, instead of going out and around making the bends, but it's gonna be a mess.
So anyway, I guess for now, we want to have you come in to discuss it and try to make a plan to go forward and see what we can do to take care of it. And as we know more, we'll let you know, and maybe have to have another meeting or something, or if you have one person as the point person for your group up there, you can do it that way. Or
Well, we get
I know there's five different lots up there. 4 or 5? There's like 4 or 5 different lots up there, right? Homes?
There's 3 of us up there, Todd, myself, and Gordon.
Okay, but I was looking at the tax map, it looked like there was 5.
Yeah,
something.
we got a couple lots each, yeah.
Okay. So anyway, who should we get a hold of next time, Gordon, or just send the letters out again, or?
Yeah, everybody's
send-
fine.
Okay, we'll do that. Okay, well, thank you for coming in. You're welcome to stay,
Appreciate it.
rest if you want.
Tonight you got one more to look out, so we have nothing but you got.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Gordy.
Thank you. Okay, next item is the mini excavator. Dave, you got something on that?
sure. Last year, October, November, I proposed to the town purchasing a mini excavator, rubber track mini excavator. We were then currently running a old 310 John Deere backhoe, running around cleaning out ends of culverts, trying to do a little bit of ditching here and there with it. Last year, all summer, and the previous year, we had severe beaver issues. We still have beaver issues. So we were running around, cleaning out the ends of culverts, in the culverts with this backhoe that leaks hydraulic oil. It was getting to the point where it was really not safe to be on the road. So I got 3 quotes on mini excavators for the town. One from Cat, one from Volvo, one from John Deere. At the time, John Deere was willing to take our backhoe and trade, give us 10 grand for it, which put them at a lower price than the other 2. We decided at that point that the amount of money that was spent because of the flooding, we were going to table the discussion to a future date. Well, the future date has come. We have now 6 employees in the summer. We have more and more work to do every summer because of the flooding we seem to get every year that we're getting behind on. And we've rented a mini excavator for a month as of right now to try to get a couple of the Better Roads grants projects done that we got funding for. Chelsea Road being the major one, which is on blacktop, and my steel track Volvo doesn't do well on blacktop. Blacktop don't do well with my bigger excavator on it. It's working really well, and we have since been to 2 different locations 5 times, digging out culverts from beavers while the beaver trapper tries to trap them for us, that I could not do with the big excavator. The backhoe at this point has a blown piston and is not operable. So I reached out to the 3 mini excavator manufacturers again. The Cat guy never returned my phone call. the Volvo guy told me that basically we were looking at a 3% increase over last year's price. The John Deere salesman has basically held last year's price. I think last year it was $80,000 with the trade-in. This year it's $81,000. They're still gonna give us the $10,000 for our backhoe, that even though it has a blown hydraulic piston and flat tire and just as it says. I've had 2 excavators out on jobs for the last month. I've got 2 guys on each excavator, one in the dump truck, one in the excavator. We completed a magnitude of ditching. We've ditched Gilbert Road, Baptist Street, Cold Springs Road, Fernal Road, Chelsea Road, and there's way more to do. And I still got one guy that can get on the grader in between rainstorms and run the grader or screen sand in the pit as needed. So I'm just looking to see if it's a possibility to do that. John Deere has quoted us a financing plan up to 7 years with a 60-month extended warranty on the excavator. It's a 14,000 pound mini. It can be moved with the one ton pickup. Don't need the 10-wheeler and the trailer, whereas the big one we do.
You got a trailer for the one ton?
Yeah, we have one minute. So that's what it's an $81,000. We can break it down into 7 years of payments. It's about $15,000 a year. We've got $158,000 in our equipment reserve. Right now, we're paying out about $75,000 a year. Our rental budget, we have a $10,000 a year rental budget, and the grader for a month every year eats up that and some. So, also with John Deere, this month that we rented it, if we decide to purchase it, that will go towards the purchase price. The $4,000, $4,200 for the month. They'll pull off the purchase price, and then there's, if you were to do a monthly payment, which you don't want to do because it adds quite a bit more to it, they would throw in a free month also. But
Jack and I talked to Gretchen this afternoon.
Yep.
And it was like $14,300
14,378.13.
for a payment, annual payment for that. And then, like the rental on is $4,000 a month, so. Sounds to me like you'd have to rent it at least a couple months a year in order to keep up. And then you have to do everything that certain amount of time, whether it rains or snows or.
that's the other problem. If I got a culvert plugged up because of a beaver, I can't just call John Deere and say, can I rent this for a month? You know, we get it down here.
So I mean, with that being said, you're gonna spend $9,000 a year, and we rent something for another $4,000 or $5,000. You can own it after 7 years, and you should still have lots of life left in it. So, and I know from experience, the track machine is, you gotta get off the road to do ditching, away from culvert or something, and it's wet at all. You're not gonna do it with the rubber pad on, because you just don't have any traction.
We'd be looking at about $5,000 to $6,000 to get the backhoe repaired so that we could use it again at any point. That's over half of what they're gonna give us for trade-in, just to get it back up and running.
Yeah, every time I send something, it's about twice what I think it's gonna be, so 10,000 might be light. If you've blown up pistons and grindings in the hydraulic system or anything like that, I mean. So if you got to spend 10 grand in a backhoe, and you're gonna have to, if you don't take it, you're gonna have to pay $4,000 a month for rent. You made 1 year's, at least 1 year's payment on it right there without sending the thing back. Still gonna fix the backhoe or jump or start the truck. Backhoe's obsolete as far as doing ditching now. I mean, it was good back in his day, but now the excavators are so much faster. You can swing 180 degrees. But I wasn't, really in favor of it because I think he had enough help, enough time to run two. But I could see where it's gonna be an advantage in town to have it there when you got time to use it, especially try to cram everything 2 months. And either it's gonna be good weather so you can grade, which you need to do that, or it's gonna be shitty weather where you could use 2 excavators to ditch. You know, the way it's been more shitty weather lately than it has been good weather. So.
Well, right now, we have a month in May, for entire month of May, where I have to have 2 graders on the road, trying to get the road shaped back up after spring. The month of July, I have a roadside mower, trying to get that. And both last year and this year, I got messed up with that because I get it the 1st of July and then the 10th of July, we get a flood. And I don't have anybody to run it because I'm putting roads back together. So some of the roads didn't get done as well as they should have with the roadside mower this year. So it limits my time that I can actually do, you know, other stuff. If it's sitting there and I get a rainy day when you can't grade, you can still go ditch, you know, as long as it's not raining too hard.
It's actually easier, you know the water's running the right direction.
Exactly, you're getting it going, you know it's running downhill.
Roger, you had your hand up?
Well, I was just wondering if there's actually a plan to make the roads better, because we keep spending money on equipment. In the same time, the roads are getting worse and worse every year.
Well,
It's almost like the state house or the school just want to spend money and they don't fix the problem.
Well, this year here, Rodney, we have pulled the edges in on Gilbert Road, got the ditching all done on that. We got Baptist Street edges all pulled in and the ditching done on that and Adams Road. That's all stuff that I was hoping to do last year to make the roads better.
But the guy that's grading the roads, or whoever grades the roads, doesn't crown them anymore.
I
They've gotten so
heard your
flat.
concern about that, and I travel these roads. I have a slope meter in my pickup, and I travel these roads all the time after he's graded them. And there's spots where there's no crown because there's no material to crown it, which we need to add material to. But for the most part, he's doing much better than my last grader operator did. He's learning. He hasn't run grader as much as some people, but he is getting better. If we can get the weather to get the grader out there, that's the big thing.
Well, most of South Hill, when you gotta have it rain, water goes down the travel portion of the road.
That's one that needs the edges pulled in so we can get the water off it. Once the water runs down it a little ways, it just takes its own path and creates ruts in
Right,
it.
then you guys grade it back in, you decrease the surface. And
No,
gone on
it's-
for years, gone on for years, it's not something that just happened.
No,
And as a taxpayer, I mean, we're looking at $400,000 trying to go, we're at kind of last year's flood. We had 5 crew members, 6 some of the time. They are qualified to run all this equipment.
every one of them can run the excavator. There's only 2, well, myself, 3 that are qualified on the grader. I'm not qualified, I'm not a grader operator, I can run it, but I haven't run it enough to be good at it.
I just think, I personally would much rather see you guys start to resurface these roads. Like Gilbert Road, you got a lot of that off with the grader. Berm. Clean it up with a bucket loader.
That's what we did.
Yeah, you know, and Baptist did the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, what's wrong with doing that?
You can't ditch with the grader. All that does is pulls the high sod in.
Well, that's a big start.
Right, that's what we're doing.
Then get the ditching done and after.
That's what we're trying to do.
yeah, when you ditch it with a grader, you're rolling all that crap in the ditch in the middle of the road and trying to it doesn't work real well. I guess most of the roads have had some good material put on them. A lot of them is worn down some, so it needs to be added to, but I don't think you really want to start mixing ditch crap into where what do you do have left for gravel?
This granite stuff is no good either. Don't stay.
What's that?
The granite material,
Yeah.
you don't back down, it'll stay. Come up with better material.
Right. You have ledge material, turns to grease every time.
Very town stopped using that granite stuff because they were having the same problem. Couldn't keep it in the road.
I know McCullough's is crushing some granite, mixing it with the gravel. Have you tried any of that stuff?
I haven't, I did stockpile some of McCullough's ledge in my pit and mixed it with granite. And we're using that
No,
here and there trying.
they're mixing it with gravel out of the Lamson pit down
Their ledge,
there. No, it's not ledge, it's granite.
they're putting granite and
They're
mixing
crushing the
it.
granite and they're mixing it with the gravel.
Yep.
And I don't know if that would stay better than just all granite stuff. I don't know.
The problem with the granite is it doesn't have enough fines in it to pack on the hills. It packs in on the flats pretty decent, but it doesn't pack on the hills. That's why I thought if we mixed in some of the ledge from McCullough's, because it's Brusso's, it's a stronger, heavier, a lot harder ledge than Pike's material, and try it and see how that does, because the ledge packs better, and then the granite gives it some bite, so it don't turn to dust. But I'll have to look into what they're doing down there.
Yeah, I mean, I've never used it, so I don't know, but I mean, I know a lot of people are using it, they're hauling out of there.
Where's Berrytown getting their material from, do you know?
I don't.
Just curious.
I know they crush gravel up in their pit up above ours. I don't know exactly what they just use it.
I think they use a lot of ledge. I'm not sure if they're getting it from McCullough's or if they're getting it from Pike's. Because they did, Little John Road below me, last year they resurfaced that and it was all ledge.
I know Berlin was using crushed ledge and they went all the northeast was here. So
Berlin is using 90% granite now. They haul it all out of northeast.
You know how their roads
The
are.
granite has such good drainage, it just drains so much better than the ledge that it's a, toss up. You want the water to get it. Anywhere we put granite, we don't have mud.
Right?
Anywhere we put ledge, we have mud.
Yeah, I've seen that. Hebert Road's a good example. But like if you get a steep part, like it chatters it too much, and then once it starts chattering, then you gotta grade it all the time.
Tell me about it. That's what Falls Bridge Road was like. I mean, it's beautiful material for drainage and it works wonderful, the blacktop over the top of. But if you have any forward momentum or no forward momentum and you hit those hills, it just creates big washboards.
When's your truck roller supposed to be here?
What's that?
When's your truck roller supposed to be here?
Should be here next week.
That might make a difference.
That
I
will
think
make a
that's
huge
gonna help.
difference.
That's the thing that goes on the.
I think we're
plow truck.
getting away from the original
Been in
conversation.
the Xfinity,
Yeah, we're like, way over here.
yeah. Oh, he's trying to figure out how can we take care of the roads that was ditch.
I get it, I know.
Anyway, it's almost the last thing on the agenda, but. So, the question is on the mini excavator, do we want to go forward with purchasing it? Looks like we're gonna have 1 year spent on renting and fixing the backhoe if we don't. Guess we have to have a motion to approve or disapprove, and then we'll have some more discussion.
I'll make your motion to approve the purchase of a new excavator.
Second,
Yeah, I'll second
motion made, seconded, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
it. Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Better see some ditches now.
Yeah, now you're on the hook there.
That's where you start, some ditches.
Well, it's,
You get the dishes
It's gonna
good,
cost half
it'll
that
help
in
a
a
lot.
rental.
Mud season will be better.
And fixing the backhoe is gonna be
And a broken backhoe and a rental every
That's
year, that makes no
$9,000.
sense.
So trust me, I'm very excited to see that thing leave my yard.
Be the shovel for a long time, I'll tell you that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, the next item is pub liquor license, motion on that.
Make a motion.
Second.
Okay, motion made and seconded, any discussion on that?
And this is just a temporary license for this one event.
Yeah, it's for the September 8th event.
Yeah.
They've
Yeah.
done it several other
Yeah.
times in the past. It all worked
And
out.
being in the emergency services, just as long as there's a plan to make sure a vehicle can get.
I already told William this morning that they
William and Berrytown, just so they.
Yeah, I already
have-
did.
Okay, that's all I care
already
about.
know. Did it this morning.
Unfortunately, alcohol, my many years in Burlington, I can assure you alcohol and being in the middle of the street don't do so well together.
Okay. No further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? And there's no old business, right?
Nope.
Around the table, you have anything? Clayton, you have anything?
Not as a select board member, no.
Well, there's no executive session, so I would need a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion.
Second.
Motion made, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thanks everyone for coming.